so take it away.
You guys didn't have to dress up for this,
Okay, my question was, what kind of people do you think are required to start a company at the beginning?
Well, at the most fundamental level, you need someone who can make the stuff and someone who can sell the stuff. So, that describes Apple, right? So Woz could make the stuff and Steve could sell the stuff. And maybe it's more important that I tell you what you don't need. So what you don't need is people who are strategic and people who want to work on higher level issues like, architecture and strategies and all that. Basically, the start of a company is hand-to-hand combat. I mean, you should be thinking of Black Hawk Down, not 50,000-foot B-1 bomber. And so you want people who are hands-on. That's one of the traps of starting a company is you think you need these really experienced people with MBAs who have run large companies. The problem with those kind of people is that, if you're vice president of marketing of Microsoft, you're used to working for a company with infinite brand awareness, with infinite money, whose greatest fear is not so much, getting their clock clean as much as violating antitrust regulations. And to put it mildly, a startup is not going to have antitrust issues. You wish you have antitrust issues. So, short answer to your question is someone who can make it and someone who can sell it.
I've been reading your book, Reality Check, and I know you said in there you don't like MBAs, but you yourself have an MBA, yes?
Yep.
And so the problem with the MBA is what again? It's kind of what you're saying?
The problem with the MBA is that, you think that by careful analysis you come up with this aha solution.
Right.
And then once you come up with the aha solution, which is the hard part, the easy part is implementation. And the real world is quite opposite. That, in fact, it's quite easy to figure out what to do. The hard part is making it happen.
Nice. Well, let's. We're going to get another student up here.
Where do you go for inspiration?
To tell you the truth, that's kind of a bullshit question. It's like I sit under this crystal here. I mean, what?
I told him you'd be brash and blunt.
You go surfing?
No, I play hockey.
There you go.
Yeah. You guys are from Wisconsin, so you would appreciate hockey, right? I love hockey. In fact, I went to the Frozen Four when it was in Wisconsin a few years ago.
So you don't have like a special like room or something you go to meditate, or I don't know, do you go out to like a burger joint or?
No. Some of my best thoughts come to me when I'm driving.
There you go.
So that's why I think I should drive a better car, but no, I don't have any magic formula for inspiration. I'm a grinder, not a visionary. So I just grind. It doesn't matter where I am. If I have a laptop and an internet connection, I'm good. I don't, a lot of times let's say you found out that, Steve Jobs has a room that's soundproof and has black walls and has 30-inch LCD panels everywhere, and there's special water brought in from Tibet, and there's a chair made by some monk, and he's got special like obsidian crystals hanging over the door. So you think, oh, so I'll do all that and I'll be the next Steve Jobs. I don't think so. It's gonna take more than that. So. Yeah, all that woo-woo shit is overrated, man. Just like, man up, man. Get it done.
So, hey, do you think that there's such thing as like information overload? Because I mean, Alltop, for example, you aggregate so much content, and sometimes I feel like there's so many news stories coming at us in the course of a day. Do you feel like that distracts you or breaks your focus at all, or?
Well, certainly that can happen. I would rather have too much information than too little.
Yeah.
I'd rather shut stuff down than try to start stuff up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a problem, but I think, one of the things that causes people to not do stuff is not that there's information overload, it's that they have attention deficit. So no matter how much information is coming at you. If you focus, right?
Right. Nice. Good question, Ken.
Thanks.
Got-
Thank you.
All right, so like as you know, Twitter's kind of like taking over the social media world, right? But like
Right.
that's great and all for people that are already established in companies and are like leads and whatnot. But how does one person, like an average college student like myself, succeed on Twitter?
Well, how do you define success?
That's a good question. I don't know. I guess like generate more like interaction, you know, like not just like go on Twitter and read what other people are doing. Like have people talking to me constantly and you know that kind of stuff.
Well, I think, listen, for me, Twitter is a marketing platform.
Yeah.
It's not a social platform. I'm not trying to find more friends. I have all the friends I can handle. I have too many friends already. So, for me, it's a marketing platform. So the more followers I get, the better it is for me. And my calculation is that people follow you, well, for two reasons. One is if you're a celebrity, they follow you just to say that they follow you, right? So if you're Shaquille O'Neal, a million people are going to follow you just because you're Shaquille O'Neal. And if you're Shaquille O'Neal, you can say, well, I just went into a Toyota dealership and I tried to sit in a Prius and I wouldn't fit. And people would think that's interesting. If you or I did that, nobody cares. So, you know, if Shaquille O'Neal says my pet Chihuahua rolled over, people would find that interesting. If you or I say that our pet Chihuahua rolled over, nobody cares. So we're not in that category. So the category that we are in is we have to provide good information. So this is primarily links. You know, so you as a college student in social media, you know, you tweet out that I just found this great article in Mashable about the top 10 things to avoid on Facebook, or the top 10 things to avoid in Twitter. Or I found this great article by, you know, this other marketing guy. And so you need to be a curator, an aggregator, a source of information so that people follow you and retweet you, so that people will say, wow, you know, I should follow this guy. He really finds interesting stuff. And then when people follow you, they'll retweet you, and then you'll get more followers, and then one day you'll wake up and you'll have, you know, 10,000 followers, and people will send you free books, and, you know, life is good.
All right.
Travis?
All right, I saw on Alltop you have a topic on there. I thought it was really interesting. I don't understand how you went about answering it. Maybe you can answer it. What can we possibly learn from Justin Bieber, other than becoming famous, being annoying?
What can you learn from Justin Bieber?
Yeah, what can we learn?
There's a shitload you can learn from Justin Bieber.
I don't believe it.
You know, you gotta love the fact that YouTube made him, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I suppose if Disney or Nickelodeon, you know, selected you as threw all their marketing behind you, they could probably make anybody, right? In fact, they have. But the fact that Justin Bieber came from this small town in Canada, and his mother put up YouTube videos, and the YouTube videos went viral, and then somebody in Atlanta saw him and brought him to Atlanta, and, you know, made him into the star he is today. That's a great success story. That's number one. Number two is part of the reason why he became successful was his use of Twitter. It's another great story. You know, Twitter is free, Twitter is fast, you don't need to hire somebody, it's not like a Super Bowl commercial. That's great. You know, that proves that social media, the fast, free stuff can work. Another thing you can learn from Justin Bieber is you got to work your ass off. I mean, that guy works hard. I don't care what anybody says. 86 concert tour. Oh, I would die. I give 50 to 60 speeches a year, and my speech is 1 hour. Okay, I get in, I go to sleep, I wake up, I speak, I leave. He's got that whole, like, you know, 3-hour show, and he's got the setup and the rehearsals and all that stuff. Now, admittedly, he makes about 100 times more than I do, but I don't think I could do an 86 stop tour. So he works his ass off. Whether you like his style or not, you know, he's got talent. I mean, another thing you can learn is he's got great advisors. You know, in the movie, he's got this vocal coach that just kicks his ass. I mean, that was very interesting to watch what the vocal coach does. And one more thing that's very interesting is, so Jaden Smith, who is son of Will Smith, which is basically like Hollywood royalty, right? Basically, Jaden Smith is sort of a sideshow to Justin Bieber, which to me is amazing that this skinny little white kid from Canada with no pedigree is now the central act, and Jaden Smith, son of Will Smith, is, you know, a star in his own right, but he's the guest act. He's not the main act. That is also very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that Justin Bieber overall proves that with a lot of hard work and using social media, anybody can do it.
When starting a startup company, what are some of the biggest sacrifices you have to make, like socially, monetarily, or with your ideas?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. You can look at it as a quote sacrifice because you're working your ass off and you're living on soy sauce and noodles and all the stuff you hear. But I'll tell you something, when you're in the middle of a startup and you're creating this product and you think you're going to kick ass with this product and you're going to be the next Google or Cisco or Yahoo or Apple, time flies and it is a blast. I mean, it is like the greatest time of your life because every day is exciting and you have this new product, and especially when you ship and you see people using your new product, it's going to be so exciting. So yes, there's a lot of hardship, there's a lot of sacrifice of your health, your family, your diet, all that kind of stuff is going to go out the window. That is true. On the other hand, man, it is a great time. It is a great time. And if I were you guys, man, I would do a startup in a second. You are at the prime age to do a startup because when you get to be my age, you got car payments, you got mortgage, you got 4 kids, you got tuition to worry about. So and you get this body of knowledge where you think you know how to do things. You guys don't have mortgages, you don't have car payments. You should live off your parents as long as possible. You don't know what you don't know. And
they're going to take that to heart.
Don't know is a good thing because it will mean that you will try stuff that rational people will not try.
Yeah.
Rational people meaning old people like me. So if you look at all the great tech companies, Apple, YouTube, Google, they're all done by college kids because they're creating products that they themselves want to use, and they don't know that what they're going to do is so freaking hard. If you knew how hard it would be, you wouldn't even try. So you are at the prime age. One of you may be the next Steve Jobs. And so, if you are, just remember me, okay? So, this is the time, man. You ought to go for it. This is the time.
Thank you.
So,
Yep.
So now, I got to tell you guys one thing. So, in about 3 weeks, this book is coming out called Enchantment, and you need to read this book. Just trust me. So this book will teach you how to change people's hearts, minds, and actions. It'll teach you how to enchant people, how to sell stuff. It will teach you how to kick butt. I promise you.
Well, I'll endorse you as well. Like, guys, I've read The Art of the Start, and I've read Reality Check, and I'll tell you, Guy Kawasaki is a great writer, and his books are very well respected. Some of the best books on entrepreneurship and technology startups and the culture of Silicon Valley that you'll ever read. I love that his style is very brash, blunt, to the point. It's funny. There's no BS. And so I recommend highly that you read his books and read Enchantment. Well, thank you very much for talking to our class, Guy. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. You're very welcome.